Hello and welcome to this video examining the results of the streaming survey I put out a few weeks back. First off, I want to thank everyone who submitted feedback and ideas, because at the end of the day, you are the ones that watch, and I want to make sure that what I'm doing is worth your time and consisting of stuff that you find interesting and you want to see. So that being said, let's go ahead and run through this stuff. First question here was asking what times you'd be interested in watching live streams. All the times here are Eastern Daylight Time, UTC -4, for those of you living in other time zones. But overwhelmingly, we take a look at all of these. I can't have all six data points on the screen at the same time, unfortunately, but Sunday was by far the most popular day. And on Sunday, the most popular time was noon to 2 p.m. Again, this is U.S. Eastern Time. So that was the most popular slot. Second was Sunday 2 to 4. Third was Saturday 12 to 2. That's 12 noon. And then tied for fourth, we had a four-way tie, Sunday 4 to 6, and then Monday noon to 2, Tuesday noon to 2, and Saturday 4 to 6. So suffice to say that the Sunday and Saturday afternoon streams are definitely going to continue to be the main thing moving forward. But if we take a look at this 8 to 10 p.m. slot, pretty much every day, more so than any other slot that wasn't, say, early afternoon, pretty much every day had a decent number of respondents who were actually planning on watching streams. Say that they'd be interested in tuning in between 8 and 10 p.m. again Eastern time. So we might try some midweek streams in that time. Saturday and Sunday, probably not. Mostly because this noon slot is just so in demand from you guys. So I appreciate the feedback there. I had a hunch that's what the case was, but again, just want to make sure before we commit to doing too much of anything else. And then as far as games you want to see streamed on YouTube, again, this is the ones happening Saturday, Sunday, most likely. No surprise here. Beavers won. 83.6% of you want to see the Beavers. Again, already kind of figured that was the case. But Manor Lords, I don't know if that's going to stay at 45% of you wanted to see that, because it is still a pretty new game. And at the time I started this survey, it was basically brand new. So I don't know what kind of staying power that's going to have, but I do plan on doing more of those streams. Satisfactory entering full release earlier in the fall, most likely, maybe. I'm not sure, depending on how their schedule is going to work out for that. But definitely want to do that. City Skylines 2, if it continues to improve, we're going to bring that back in. And then Transport Fever 2 is a good standby. I just wanted that for a fifth option. But yes, Tempered-Born streams are going to come back. I got some cool ideas planned for that, but I want to make sure that those are set up to the best of my ability before we dive too much into that on a regular schedule. Next, Twitch. I know we talked about this a whole lot, and I used to stream on Twitch a whole lot more. That's what I did before I did YouTube so much. I really haven't, in the past, maybe almost 2 years, done very much over there at all, but I really would like to get back into that, because we've had some good times over there. And most of that's non-city builder stuff, mostly because, you know, the whole YouTube thing being dominated by city builders. I want to play some other stuff too. So that's what would go on Twitch. Probably wouldn't ever do any of these on YouTube just because the algorithm would just eat me alive. But 40% of you said you didn't want to watch anything on Twitch, and that's fine. But the rest of you, the most popular option was actually simulators, Train Sim, Farming Sim. There's a couple other ones that I've got I might want to play. So I don't know, that could be kind of fun. Some chill evening farming simulation or train driving action. I don't know. If you think that's cool, then let me know, because I definitely would be down to spend a couple hours just relaxing, talking to you guys in chat, and getting some stuff done. And then after that, of course, RPGs. I did mention before I wanted to play Fallout, and maybe not Skyrim, maybe go back and play some Oblivion or Morrowind. It could be fun. Mass Effect has been requested. Baldur's Gate has been requested as well. That is 100% not something I can do on YouTube. That would have to be a Twitch thing. And then these other things, just to gauge interest. I'm not necessarily committing to do JRPGs or puzzle games or racing games or whatever, but always good to have that feedback. Now, back to YouTube for a second. City builder games that I haven't really done anything with that you guys want to see. The Oxygen not included. Definitely the most popular one that I've gotten before. We'll probably end up doing that, but I want to make sure that it's actually going to be good and I can play the game and not be terrible at it, because nobody wants to watch that. Well, you might, but the average person doesn't. RimWorld I've not really messed with. Frostpunk I considered doing a video series on before, just never had the time. Classic SimCity, I would love to do older SimCity stuff. I think that would be a whole lot of fun. SimCity, again, Roller Coaster Tycoon, I've already said I want to do streams on, so that's good. Farthest Frontier is something that's come up before as well. Is this Inner Space or Infraspace? I know there's a couple of games with that similar title, so we'll figure that out. End Zone, I'm not really familiar with. RimWorld, I think we discussed before. Banished, I wanted to touch on just because that was kind of in the same vein as Ostriv. Could be a good thing to check out. Not familiar with High Rise City, but this I wanted to address. Is city builder games the only genre for YouTube streaming? I'd like to see a scrap mechanic, modded scrap mechanic playthrough. Again, just a survival sandbox game, not a city builder. Algorithmic concerns reign supreme here for YouTube stuff, because it really buries stuff that I do that is outside of the typical video, which I guess would be beavers at this point. Anytime I've tried to do something that isn't Timberborn, it has just tanked incredibly hard unless, I don't know, enough people watched it and it just decided to keep serving it. But I think that's why Anno failed. Penguins, hardly anybody watches those videos anymore, but it's so much fun, I'm not going to stop doing those. But for the most part, it pretty much has to be city builders. Workers and Resources Soviet Republic is another thing I'd like to get back into, because there's a whole lot of depth to that we didn't really check out in the videos, and those were not well received as videos, so I'm not going to do videos on that again. But streams could be fun. And then this one says, play what you enjoy. If you're having fun, so is the audience. Yes, I absolutely want to play what I enjoy, but I'm also beholden to YouTube's algorithm and recommendations and stuff. So if I play what I want to play on YouTube, then it's over. It's just going to stop serving videos. That's part of why Twitch exists. And I'm not heard of Pharaoh, but that could be something to check out. And now back over to the Twitch part. This is non-city builder games. You guys might want to see on Twitch. A lot of these I've heard of before. I'm not going to go through all these because there's a lot of different results. But most of the stuff you guys have submitted here is stuff that I've either played before or thought about playing, or someone has suggested. So all good stuff that we could possibly take a look at. And with Twitch, the algorithm isn't really an issue, because discoverability on Twitch is basically just a toxic wasteland. Like people aren't going to find you unless somebody links you. At least back when I was doing the thing, you pretty much are not going to show up at all, unless you get lucky or you have a huge following or there's some sort of reason for someone to already be on your page. So I'm not really concerned about fitting into a box on there. And it's a smaller community. It's a little bit more intimate environment. Don't have to worry about as much stuff. So there's a lot more room for variety and a lot more room for trying other things. So expect to see a whole bunch of different stuff, and we can experiment. If it doesn't work, then just change over, and that's no big deal. There's no lasting effects. The VODs don't stay up or whatever. So not really that much of a risk involved with that. Kind of a good opportunity to just, again, play what I want to play and see what you guys want, audience interaction, stuff like that. And then down here, my final question I asked is if you guys had any ideas for things that might make streams more interesting or entertaining, and engagement, stuff like that. So there's a couple answers in here I think would be good to go over. This first one says perhaps a way to tie in viewers into your gameplay, specifically for multiplayer ready games like Satisfactory. That is something I want to do. I'll probably will be a very small group of people that I actually do that with, because that's probably something I have to vet in advance if it's going to be actually streamed. But there's lots of opportunities for audience participation in stuff like that. Or there's other games that I think people really haven't mentioned here, like say Jackbox or whatever, where you can have people, even if they aren't in, say, a stream call with you, they can still vote based off of what they see on the stream on their phones or whatever. That could be a fun thing to do. And then here's another one, games with audience interaction, or possibly allowing for random selection, beard boosters to play with you in cycles of a game. Yeah, and that's something I'd like to get to as well at some point, depending on how stuff shakes out. And then a couple of you said you want to watch Twitch VODs on YouTube or make a second channel for that. In theory, that's a good idea, but I don't think that's viable long-term, because Twitch stuff doesn't stay up on Twitch. It has to be recorded separately, which I always do anyway. But you don't have the real-time chat with that unless you have a physical overlay on your screen with the chat, and that's going to block part of the game. And I don't know if there's a better way to do that, to have that actually physically imprinted in there, because without the context of chat, sometimes the conversations just don't make any sense, or it's not as entertaining to watch if you don't know what's also going on. The nice thing about the YouTube streams is that the chat can stay in sync with the video in a separate part of the window, because it was natively streamed on there. Whereas Twitch, that's not a thing. It has to be baked into the video or it's gone forever. That and Twitch and YouTube are kind of different, the way copyrighted music and different content work. Whereas on Twitch, they're going to strike you, obviously, if you use certain copyrighted stuff. But because the VODs aren't stored for a long time, a lot of that doesn't end up mattering. But if a game has, say, copyrighted background music, and I'm streaming it on Twitch, the chances of it going down during a stream are very low. But if I archive that and I put it on YouTube, then that's almost certainly going to get stricken immediately. And that's obviously not ideal. And you can't just have a game without music. And I'm certainly not going to sit there for an entire day and put in 3, 4, 5 hours of generic music on top of something I've already done. That just honestly is not a good use of time. So while it is nice to have access to those old replays, I don't really think it's sustainable to put them all up on YouTube. But that's not me saying 100% we're never going to do it. I'm just saying that's not currently something I plan on doing, unless it's a specific thing that is like a community event where everybody's participating. Maybe that would be fun to put up there. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, that's for the time being, that's not something that's really on my radar. But yeah, that's it. Thanks to the 76 of you who responded to the survey. Very helpful information to have. Got some good ideas. And I think going into the summer, we can plan on having streams most Saturdays and Sundays starting around noon Eastern time. And then during the middle of the week, we might try different days in that 8 to 10 p.m. time slot. So I'll, of course, keep you posted on that. I'll try to have a concrete schedule at least a week in advance, every week in the summer, starting this weekend, so you guys can plan ahead if you want to be a part of a stream or whatever. So we'll see what happens. Again, thanks for participating. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. And I'm looking forward to getting to spend some quality time playing some good games with you this summer. Have a great day. Bye-bye.